Hello and welcome back to our weekly tea break here at the FT studios in London alongside my co-host Yuri. I'm delighted to say we have a very special guest joining us today, Nicolas Syz, head of private banking at Syz Group, which was set up by his father Eric Syz in Geneva. Nicolas, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
And what tea have you gone for?
I think it's green tea.
Green tea, oh fantastic. Any reason why?
Well, I usually drink a little bit more coffee, but when I do have the occasion to drink some tea, it's getting some energy for the day ahead. So
fantastic. And Yuri?
Well, I've gone for the herbal tea in honour of Nicola, really, because I know that you have a lot of the mountain herbal teas in Switzerland, along with the sustainability theme as well, which most of the banks are very big in. And I saw that some of the teas have their specialised certification as well, which really ties in with the whole Swiss banking theme, I think. And I love your branding, Nicola, with the orange socks, the orange tie, the orange glasses, and the way your bank has branded itself has been quite definitive over the years. Sadly, other banks have struggled a bit more with that. And Swiss banking in general, you know, we've seen the implosion of Credit Suisse, we've seen some money laundering scandals elsewhere, we've seen overreach at banks moving into areas that they're not necessarily qualified to advise on. And this is something we've been writing on this week. We had a geopolitics expert, Louise Tumchevich, and she was saying that geopolitics will be the next defining factor for Swiss banks. And I wanted to ask you, Nicola, what sort of challenges do sanctions, wars and dictators, what sort of challenges do they present for Swiss private banking and wealth management?
I mean, the environment has, as you mentioned, since all the geopolitical uncertainties have made it much more complex to operate. Just taking Ukraine war, it has put a sort of environment of uncertainty for clients. A lot more scrutiny from regulators who have, put up a lot more regulation within Europe, but across the world. For banking relationships, we do travel to regions, so this cross-border aspect has become much more complex as well for us.
And Ali, you've been looking at some of the broader challenges for wealth managers in terms of the personalisation, the succession planning, the Gen AI. What sort of factors have you found in your research?
Yeah, well, I spoke to a few kind of wealth management commentators, and they told me wealth managers, must adapt to the changing expectations of younger investors, inheriting wealth, focusing on technology, personalization, and, innovative strategies like tokenization, which is very big at Syz. Younger clients prioritize sustainability, impact investing, and transparency. Gen AI is one way to bring in this new generation, and it's crucial for, I guess, having tailored advice as well. These commentators, they speak of, personalization, technology, and of course, succession planning as well. Nicolas, what has been kind of the experience at Syz and, where you're transitioning the bank from one generation to the next?
So I think the model, as you seeing and explaining it, is the private banking model has evolved a lot, and consumers and clients are looking for more added value. Something beyond just the classical wealth management. They're looking for more service. You talked about succession. They're looking for succession planning. They're looking for wealth planning. They're looking for access to alternative investments. So they're looking for transparency at real authentic conversations, and this sort of from one generation to the next, they want tech, they want access, they want tailor-made services. But the fact that we're a second generation working, we're two generations working hand in hand. We've done the transitions. We're doing, I'm working on the wealth management side. My brother managed the private equity, Seeds Capital side. So we've gone through a lot of these difficult conversations you can have as a family who's joining a business and who is having lots of trouble. When you go to bed at night, when you're an entrepreneur and this is your business, you want this business to thrive. You want the clients to thrive, the employees. So when we come and talk to clients about this, we have a lot of credibility. And there are lots of right questions that we can ask them because we had those questions ourselves. And I think this helps a lot at, just making them feel at ease to actually talk about this and to have these conversations themselves for the right reasons, because this is going to help them to preserve, family stability, because that is the first most important thing, but then second as well, the family business. And I think that helps them to come to us and to have that discussion with them.
I think a lot of your credibility, Nicola, comes from the fact that you haven't hidden during the difficult times. You've always had conversations with clients, with the media, that yes, there are these challenges, like in the global financial crisis, when people were stuck in the hedge funds, it was difficult to get out, and your father and his team, they were talking with the clients, they were talking with the world about this. There were some changes in direction occasionally, and your bank has been brave. You've stuck with the story, you've stuck with the clients. We had an article, an opinion piece this week from PwC, from Mike Delano, and he's discussing the continued pressure towards consolidation in wealth and asset management, with many M&A deals currently on the cards. Do you get approached by the behemoths in Switzerland? They come knocking on the door saying maybe you would hand over the keys in exchange for a lucrative payoff?
Indeed. I mean, my father has received several offers, but he has always told us the same message. He said, I thought about it often, but if I'd sell the business, I'd start it all over again. So I don't think that selling, and considering that is on the cards at all for us. We're, to the contrary, we're more of looking at consolidating other businesses. We've bought 10 years ago the Swiss branch of RBC. We acquired an external asset manager in Zurich. So the idea is to actually, we're more on a growth phase at looking at opportunities and than anything else.
And one of the areas really in demand from clients, you mentioned your brother running the private assets side, and a lot of asset and wealth managers are trying to buy in expertise in this area at the moment. And I know, Ali, you've been reviewing a piece from Freddie Muelke at Robin AI about how AI can reshape private markets. What has Freddie been saying?
He argues that AI is transforming private markets by, speeding up processes like due diligence, deal sourcing, enhancing investment decisions. He says it amplifies human expertise rather than replacing it, providing efficiencies for wealth managers and family offices. Firms that successfully integrate AI with human judgment will grow a competitive advantage in the market. Nicola, alternative assets and private markets have always been a big part of the asset base at banks. Does the future for you lie in traditional portfolio management or very much in kind of the alternative space?
I believe, that it's always a combo and a right balance of both. I think this is also part of what makes us stand out of the crowd, is that we offer the service, the agility, the access of a boutique, but as well the pioneering access to global, unique investment opportunities across generations. So this is a little bit to look at when we talk about Seeds Capital, which is the private equity and alternatives branch. There we really look at unique investments, and then we as a family, as we understand that risk, we invest first, and then we open up to clients so that they can actually invest alongside the family. But innovation is key. You have to be always forward-looking and constantly innovate. My father always says, you need to challenge status quo. You cannot do the things you were doing just because you were doing it that way. This is also why we, I think it was 4 years ago, we went into the crypto and the digital asset space. We understand that in the discussions we had with the next generations of our clients, that this was something that was going to matter and was going to grow for them in terms of requests and in terms of investments and diversification of wealth. So we created a platform where they can trade various tokens and they can book them, so safe custody as well, with a safe private banking partner. And I think that's sort of the innovation that needs to stay there, while keeping as well the fact that we're family owned. a human place where you can have access to experts, but depending on who you need to talk to, you've got access to everyone. We don't want to automatize and break that personal relationship that makes it so special.
And talking of which, we've got the PWM mugs which we're drinking out of, and now with perhaps Nicolas can help us launch a PWM crypto coin for the next time he's here.
Definitely.
Definitely. Hopefully it will shoot to the moon, as many meme coins do these days. Nicolas, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got questions about investing, our megatrends, tech, global families, sustainability, geopolitics, or the future of wealth management, send them in and we'll put them to our guests. For more details, visit the PWM website. See you next week.